I did not mean to say it out loud. The moment the words left my mouth, I wished space itself would swallow me. Her back was turned to me, silver blue lights from the control panels reflecting off her suit as she worked on the damaged console of her ship. The engine room hummed with unstable energy. Sparks flickered. The smell of burnt circuits filled the air. And then, like an idiot, I muttered under my breath, "Humans really need to stop staring at alien backsides." Silence. The humming of the engine suddenly felt louder. My heart froze. I didn't realize my translator was still active, which meant she heard it. Slowly, very slowly, she turned around. Her glowing violet eyes locked onto mine. Not angry, not offended, not embarrassed, just curious. I felt my face burn. I didn't mean, I was just thinking. I wasn't thinking. She tilted her head slightly, studying me like I was some strange new species. Then she said something that completely destroyed my expectations. In my culture, that is considered a high compliment. I blinked. What? She stepped closer, calm, composed, towering slightly over me. Among my people, noticing physical symmetry is a sign of respect. It means you find the individual genetically impressive. I had no words. My brain stopped working. I just accidentally complimented an alien commander. She nodded. Yes. And now, according to tradition, I owe you a reward. A reward? For that? I laughed nervously. No, really, we can forget this ever happened. But she didn't laugh. She was completely serious. And that was the moment I realized I had just started something that would change my life and possibly the entire galaxy forever. Because the reward she was about to give me was not something any human had ever received before. And it all started because I couldn't control my thoughts. She didn't break eye contact. Not for a second. I stood there, feeling like the dumbest human to ever exist in this part of the galaxy, while she calmly studied my face as if I had just done something important. "You owe me nothing," I said quickly. It was a mistake. A translator error. Human stupidity. Please ignore it. But she slowly shook her head. In Alarian tradition, spoken admiration cannot be ignored. It creates a bond of honor between the speaker and the one admired. A bond? Yes. That word did not sit well with me. The engine room flickered again, sparks raining down from the damaged ceiling panel. The ship was still barely functional, and we were stranded in deep space. I had boarded her vessel only because I was the closest human engineer in this sector when her distress call reached the trade station. I was supposed to fix her ship, not accidentally start an alien cultural ritual. She stepped toward the central console and activated a holographic panel. Strange symbols floated in the air between us. "According to protocol," she continued calmly, "I must grant you access to something of value as a gesture of respect." "I don't need anything," I insisted. "Really? I just fix ships." She looked at me again, those glowing violet eyes almost amused now. "That is precisely why you are worthy." Before I could ask what that meant, she pressed her palm against the holographic interface. The ship hummed. Then the entire room lit up in soft blue light. A new interface appeared in front of me, one that definitely was not meant for human eyes. Star maps, restricted routes, military-grade navigation paths, unknown systems. My breath caught in my throat. "What is this?" "This," she said quietly, "is access to Alarian command navigation. No human has ever seen this." I stared at the hologram, realizing what I was looking at. This wasn't money. This wasn't technology. This was information. The kind of information that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. I turned to her slowly. "You can't give this to me." "I can," she replied, "because you honored me. I accidentally complimented you." She tilted her head. "Intent does not change impact." I ran a hand through my hair, trying to process the insanity of this moment. Do you have any idea what happens if humans get access to this? Yes, she said calmly. And you're okay with that? She looked directly at me. I am curious what your species will do with opportunity. That sentence hit harder than anything else. Not fear, not suspicion, curiosity. She wasn't afraid of humans. She wanted to see what we were capable of. Suddenly, alarms beeped softly from the console. The engine core I had repaired was stabilizing. Her ship was coming back to life. I should have felt proud. Instead, I felt like I had just stepped into something much bigger than ship repairs. Because now, I wasn't just a mechanic. I was a human holding secrets that no human was ever meant to have. And the alien commander standing in front of me had given them willingly, all because I couldn't keep my thoughts to myself. The holographic interface pulsed softly, illuminating the engine room with a pale blue glow. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the star maps and restricted routes that stretched before me like a secret galaxy only I could now see. You really gave me this? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She nodded, eyes calm and unwavering. You have proven yourself capable of thought beyond instinct. Humans are unpredictable, and I am curious. Curious. That word kept echoing in my head. In all my life, no one had ever trusted me with anything even close to this level of responsibility. And here I was, human, standing in a room full of Alarian secrets, the galaxy at my fingertips. I glanced at the ship's core readouts. The engine I had repaired was holding, barely, but holding nonetheless. Sparks flickered on the ceiling, and the ship's hum filled the space around us. My hands itched to tinker, to test, to push limits. You should rest, she said, or you may harm yourself. I can't rest, I admitted. I need to understand how it works, what else I can do. She watched me silently, then stepped closer to the console. Very well, I will guide you. But know this, the information you now hold is dangerous. It can make humans powerful or destroy them. I swallowed hard. I'll be careful. She let a faint smile cross her face. Careful is not what will make humans legendary. Courage and cleverness will. That hit me like a shockwave. Courage and cleverness. That was all I had ever relied on. And somehow, it was enough to earn the trust of an entire alien species. Over the next several hours, she walked me through the ship systems, teaching me protocols, hidden controls, and navigation pathways I could never have imagined. I absorbed it all, like a sponge, my mind racing to connect human intuition with alien technology. By the time we finished, I could pilot her ship, stabilize failing sectors, and even reroute energy to critical systems. Things no human had ever attempted before. And now, I asked, exhausted but exhilarated, what happens now? Her violet eyes seemed to hold a galaxy of unspoken truths. Now, we see what your kind is capable of. There are fleets in distress, colonies at risk, and mysteries lost in space. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. It is time they learn what we have learned about you. I felt my heart race. This wasn't just about ship repair anymore. This was a galactic opportunity, a chance to show that humans could be more than just survivors. They could be a force to be reckoned with. The engines hummed, the ship stabilized, and as I looked at her, I realized that everything, the accidental comment, the reward, the trust, had led me here. And whatever came next, it was going to change the galaxy forever. The ship's engines thrummed steadily as we exited the nebula, and the galaxy outside seemed vast, silent, and full of possibility. Elora, the alien commander, sat beside me, her violet eyes scanning multiple holographic displays, calm and precise. A new alert flashed on the main panel. A civilian transport trapped near a collapsing star cluster. Most species had already deemed it impossible to reach, citing radiation spikes and gravitational anomalies. But I couldn't ignore it. I can help them, I said instinctively. Elora tilted her head, intrigued. Do you understand the risk? Yes, I replied. But risk doesn't stop humans. We adapt. She let a small smile cross her face. Then we shall see. The jump through the star cluster was chaotic. Energy waves battered the ship, alarms screamed, and debris from destroyed vessels floated in the void. Every calculation Elora made had to be double-checked, every system manually adjusted by me to survive the turbulence. This is insane, I muttered, sweat forming in my temples. And yet, she said quietly, you are keeping us alive. Minutes stretched like hours. I rerouted power, stabilized failing shields, and improvised with alien tools that I barely understood. Somehow it worked. The transport's coordinates blinked faintly on our navigation map, a beacon of lives at risk. When we finally arrived, the transport was drifting near a stellar storm, its hull cracked, engines barely holding. Elora watched me as I assessed the situation. It will take a human mind to save them, she said. I didn't need another warning. I leapt into action, running along the ship's damaged corridors, patching energy conduits, rerouting auxiliary power, and stabilizing life support. Every crew member aboard the transport stared at me in disbelief as the systems slowly returned to life. You fixed it? One engineer whispered. I shrugged, exhausted. Just human instinct. By the time the last system stabilized, Elora nodded approvingly. Humans are remarkable. I glanced at her, catching the faintest trace of pride in her expression. Remarkable? I'm just a guy who fixes what's broken. She laughed softly. And yet, what is broken is being saved because of you. That is remarkable indeed. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, but I felt something shift. The galaxy had begun to notice. Fleets whispered stories of the human who could survive impossible situations, repair the irreparable, and face dangers others fled from. For the first time, I realized humans weren't just clever. We were daring, unpredictable, capable of changing the balance of power in the galaxy itself. And with Elora at my side, I knew this was only the beginning. The first mission was complete, but a much larger journey had just begun, one that would test human courage, ingenuity, and resolve in ways the galaxy had never imagined. The transport fleet followed behind the Silent Hawk as we navigated back to open space. Elora stood at the observation deck, calm as ever, while I struggled to catch my breath. My hands were still shaking from the repairs, my mind racing from the near-impossible calculations I had just done. You handled that remarkably, Elora said, her voice smooth, almost melodic. Most species would have panicked. Remarkably, I laughed nervously. I just did what any human engineer would do. Except, most humans don't have to fix alien ships under collapsing stars. Her violet eyes glimmered with amusement. And yet, here you are, alive, capable, determined. She walked over to the main console and activated a new holographic panel. A cluster of coordinates, distress signals, and uncharted star systems appeared. There are others in need, she said simply. I swallowed hard. You mean more impossible missions? Yes, she replied. Your species' ingenuity is unique. I want to see what you can accomplish when faced with situations no one else would dare to attempt. I ran my hands over the controls, analyzing the data. One system in particular caught my attention, a derelict research station in the shadow of a collapsing gas giant. The station's life support was failing, its crew trapped inside, and no alien fleet had dared approach. I'll go, I said instantly. Elora raised an eyebrow. Are you certain? This mission could destroy your ship, or worse. I smiled faintly. If humans never risked themselves, we'd never survive. Besides, someone has to save them. The jump through the gas giant's orbit was brutal. Gravitational waves tore at the hull. Electromagnetic storms scrambled the ship's sensors, and debris from shattered satellites and small moons littered the void. Every instinct I had, every piece of human ingenuity was tested. Elora observed silently as I rerouted power, recalibrated shields, and manually bypassed failing systems. The ship's hull groaned under pressure, yet somehow it held. We arrived at the research station, its hull cracked, energy cores flickering, and crew members desperate. I barely had time to process the chaos before I was running along the corridors, repairing life support conduits, stabilizing power grids, and restoring communications. The alien scientists stared at me in disbelief. You are human," one of them whispered. I nodded, exhausted but resolute. "Yes, I fix what is broken. That's all." Elora approached me once the station stabilized. "Humans are unpredictable," she said softly. "You have saved more lives today than any single fleet could." I let out a deep breath, feeling both pride and exhaustion. "I'm just doing what I have to. That's all any of us can do." Her eyes, glowing faintly in the dim emergency lights, seemed to hold a galaxy of understanding. Humans are more than survival. You are innovation, courage, and the spark the galaxy didn't know it needed. For the first time, I realized the weight of what was happening. The accidental comment, the reward, the trust, wasn't just about me anymore. Humans were being noticed. Humans were being tested. And humans were starting to prove they could change the galaxy. As the Silent Hop powered up and we left the gas giant's shadow behind, I knew one thing. This was only the beginning. The missions would get harder, the stakes higher, and the galaxy itself will be watching to see what humans could do. And somehow I knew Elora, calm, brilliant, and utterly alien, will be watching too, curious to see just how far we could go. The Silent Hawk glided through open space, engines humming like a heartbeat across the void. Elora monitored multiple star charts, her violet eyes calm but alert, while I leaned over the controls, analyzing the next distress signal. "Another signal," I said quietly, pointing at a cluster near an uncharted nebula. "Civilian freighters trapped. Life support failing. Most fleets wouldn't touch it." Elora glanced at me, curiosity flickering in her gaze. "And yet you will go." "I have to," I replied. "If humans never risked themselves, nothing would ever change." She allowed a faint smile. "You are unpredictable. That is why I am curious about your species." The jump into the nebula was turbulent. Clouds of ionized gas shimmered in chaotic colors, energy surges rattling the ship, and small meteorites spun past us like deadly pinballs. Every system warned of failure. Every calculation predicted disaster. And yet, somehow we survived. I rerouted auxiliary power to the shields, stabilized the navigation core manually, and improvised repairs on the fly. Elora watched, silent but impressed, as human instinct and boldness defied every prediction. Finally, we reached the trapped freighters. Smoke and sparks erupted from their hulls, and life support barely functioned. I jumped into action, connecting to their emergency interfaces, bypassing corrupted systems, and rerouting energy from damaged cores to critical functions. Crew members stared in disbelief as systems slowly came back online. "You fixed it?" one engineer asked, voice trembling. I shrugged, exhausted but determined. "Humans adaptado." We survive. We fix what is broken. Elora approached, floating gracefully beside me. "Your species is remarkable. You have turned what others deemed impossible into reality." I let out a long breath. "I'm just doing what I have to." Do not underestimate what humans can become, she said softly. The galaxy has watched, underestimated, and doubted. Your actions today prove humans are capable of far more than anyone predicted. That moment hit me. Not fear, not pride, understanding. Humanity wasn't just surviving anymore. We were beginning to shape the galaxy. As the freighters followed us into safe space, Elora studied me. There are greater challenges ahead. Dangerous sectors, unknown anomalies, and fleets in need. You will lead, human, and the galaxy will watch. I nodded, heart racing, realizing the full weight of what she was saying. This wasn't just about ship repairs. This wasn't just about one accidental comment or reward. This was the start of something monumental. Humans proving themselves capable of rewriting the rules of space, courage, and survival. The stars stretched endlessly before us. And for the first time, I knew the galaxy would never see humans the same way again. And Elora? She wasn't just observing. She was learning, fascinated by a species she had never understood, and about to witness humanity's boldest feats yet. The stars outside the viewport stretched endlessly, each one a silent witness to everything we had done. The silent talk hummed steadily, carrying humans, aliens, and the proof that courage and ingenuity could change the galaxy. Elora floated beside me, calm as always. Do you realize the impact of your actions? She asked quietly. I shook my head. Impact. I just fixed ships, helped people, and survived. She turned her violet eyes toward me, glowing softly in the light of the engines. No human has ever achieved what you have. Lives saved, fleets stabilized, impossible missions completed. You have rewritten what it means to be human in the galaxy. I swallowed hard. I never imagined this could happen. You didn't just imagine it. You acted, she said. Humans are underestimated, but you have proven that your species can survive, adapt, and excel where others fail. Suddenly, the comm panel lit up with multiple alerts. Distress signals from distant colonies, derelict ships, and uncharted anomalies appeared across the galaxy. Elora looked at me and said, "The universe has tested you. Now, it watches to see what humans will do next." I glanced at her, then at the stars ahead. Then let's show them. The jump engines engaged, and the stars streaked past like rivers of light. For the first time, I felt not fear, but purpose. Humanity had begun its journey among the stars, not as mere survivors, but as innovators, problem solvers, and a force that no one could ignore. Your species is extraordinary. I will be watching, curious, as you continue to prove yourselves. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, fleets whispered of a human who dared to do the impossible. Whispers became stories, stories became legends, and legends changed the way the galaxy would forever perceive humanity. I realized then what it meant to be human. Courage in the face of impossibility, ingenuity in the face of failure, and the stubborn, relentless drive to push forward, even when no one believed it could be done. The Silent Hawk sailed onward, carrying the mark of humanity to every corner of the stars. And Elora, calm and curious, followed silently, witnessing the rise of a species that the galaxy had once dismissed and would never underestimate again. Humans were no longer overlooked. Humans were unstoppable. Humans were the future. And it all began with one accidental comment, one act of courage, and one human who dared to fix what others could not.